The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is asking the Security Council to quickly send at least 3,000 more troops to the Central African Republic, where sectarian violence is spinning out of control. Mr. Ban Thursday urged that the additional forces be deployed in coming days and weeks.
The situation is deteriorating rapidly, and we must act. That is why I'm emphasizing time is of essence, and we must deploy rapid forces, police and soldiers.
Mr. Ban wants about 3,000 troops and police into the country, bringing the total peacekeeping forces to more than 10,000. UN humanitarian chief VALERIE AMOS echoed Mr. Ban's urgent appeal for more troops in CAR as she wrapped up a two-day visit to the country. AMOS says the fighting is forcing more people to flee the country.
Innocent civilians of all communities have witnessed and borne the brunt of unspeakable violence. People are so afraid that they sleep in the bush at night, are in displacement sites, or have been forced to flee their country.
The Central African Republic was plunged into chaos a year ago when minority Muslim rebels toppled the president and went on a looting spree. Fighting between Muslims and Christians has killed hundreds since December. Well, for more details, VOA UN correspondent Margaret Besheer joins us live from New York. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Vincent.
Now, the Secretary General looks visibly frustrated by the developments in the CAR. Now, question is it just a question of numbers of the soldiers, or there's something that needs to be done more than just increasing the numbers of the peacekeepers?
Well, it's a little bit of both. They need to increase the numbers because right now the MISCA troops, the African troops, there's nearly 6,000 of them, and around 2,000 French troops with Sangaris. They're mostly around Bangui. So they need to get out into the countryside to go to remote areas where there are also problems. Until now, that's been a little bit difficult. So with more reinforcements, hopefully they can spread out more widely. The second problem is equipment. They need equipment. They need better logistical equipment. They need aircraft. You know, it's a big country. They need to get around. You can't do it all by road. Mm-hmm. So it's always, you know, this is always an issue for missions in Africa. There's always a need for helicopters and airplanes, always. Exactly. And I think they have that problem there, too.
Now, there have been calls, even from Madam Amos, that this should be transformed into a UN peacekeeping force. What is the difference? What difference will it make?
Well, yeah, I think generally here in New York, the idea is that it should become a UN peacekeeping force before the end of this year. Initially, there was a little bit of pushback from the Africans. The AU wanted a year to show that their troops could get the situation under control. But I think we saw yesterday, the Secretary General said the violence, the scope of the violence is just far exceeding the capabilities of all the international troops that are on the ground, and that includes the French. So, what would be the difference? Okay, so you have a UN peacekeeping force, you would have a coordinated command structure. So all the troops would be under one commander. Right now, the French are under the French, the Africans are under the Africans. It can be a little messy. You would have more predictable and sustainable funding, which is really important for a peacekeeping mission or any kind of mission. Yeah. That's a major thing, funding. Also, if you had a peacekeeping mission, you would have a political element to it, let's say. You know, it wouldn't just be peacekeepers. You know, they're planning elections this time next year in CAR, so you could have UN support to get those elections to happen.
Yes, and watch and see how this plays out, because we know many times people have been skeptical about UN peacekeeping forces looking at the situation in the DRC, Congo. But Margaret...
Yeah, but look at DRC, it's starting to turn around. So you have to give it time, and you have to give it a robust mandate, and you have to give it the equipment and the capacities that it needs if you want to get the job done. But I think we're seeing in DRC that the situation is definitely turning.
That's right. Thank you very much, Margaret.
Okay, Vincent.
That's Margaret Besheer reporting live from the United Nations in New York.